Beautiful. I am aware there are some people who can't join us at this point or are joining us later, so we are recording the session so it can be shared. Thank you all. So this is a very quick update for you guys in terms of mascot umpiring and what's happening with you guys and what will be important for you to know of in the season. So we do have some new people to the club, so we welcome everybody that has joined us. It's very exciting. The important things, and Louise, you may be better to add this, but it's important to remember Mascot, our philosophy and our focus is, yes, it is competitive, but we're very much about encouraging people to love netball and enjoy it in an inclusive environment. So everything that we do is founded in the fact that all of us actually really love netball. That's why we're here. That's why we're involved. That's why we're still doing it after so many years. And everyone that is involved in terms of coaches, managers, and exec are all volunteering their time. So you guys as umpires are engaged in a job relationship, so a paid environment. Everyone else is giving their time and volunteering. So we really do thank everyone for giving their time and being involved, because as a club, we can't exist without it. So up on the screen, I'm just sharing with you very, very quickly our committee. You will see Louise there, you will see Megan, Sam and I there under umpiring coordination and many, many other familiar names. I raise that with you because I'll talk later about if you're needing support or if you're being mentored or if you're receiving feedback or having a difficult game. These guys are the ones who are going to help out. So it's really good to just know who's who and how much time they're giving back in terms of helping us to make sure that the club is running. So I'm going to hand over to Louise to give an update. Can I remind everyone just to pop in the chat their name, the team number they're playing with or age group, and if they're involved in any other teams, the numbers for that. And Lou, I will hand to you.
Thank you, Catherine. Look, so just a few minutes for me really on the rules and, you know, the expectations and a reminder why we're here to umpire. So Catherine's kindly summarised some information from the rule book, but, you know, as mentioned, netball's an equal opportunity sport where it's fair play and respect for an opponent's skill and safety. It is really, you know, my philosophy with umpiring is that our role is to umpire the game so that players can play to the best of their ability at the level that they're at. And the role for the umpire is to create that game environment where players can play to the best of their ability within the bounds of the rules. So, you know, really think about that and really think about your role there is to let the players play, right? We want to have good games where players can really showcase their skills within the bounds of the rules. So, you know, the umpires are to apply the rules of the game with impartiality, with fairness and consistency. I think that when we think about the rules of umpiring, and Catherine, you've got the, I think the online rule book in here. Everybody should have a copy of this rule book on your phone. It's in an app. It's easy to download and it's free and it's searchable. So it's much faster to find things in this version of the rule book than the paper one where you've got to flick through and read things or know where they are. So you can actually do a keyword search in the app, which is really good for finding things quickly. Now, we umpire the international rules of netball. This means that what you see on TV, the Suncorp Super Netball, it has different rules. So don't go assuming that everything that you see on TV is are the actual rules. If you think you're seeing something different, check your rule book, come and have a chat to me or someone else down at the courts and we can clarify. But there are quite a number of different rules, not just the shooting and the points, but there's other different rules as well as to how various stoppages are managed and other changes. So don't just assume because you see something on TV that is how it's umpired. If you think it's inconsistent, then always go back and check the rule book. But very much recommend that everybody has this and refer to it. I also like to think check your rule book before you ask a question as well and get into that habit of trying to find out for yourself, and then we can have a discussion about that. So often people will come and ask me a question. I'm like, have you read the rule book? No. And we would read that together. you really want to focus. So the key parts are from the sanctions onwards. So sanctions controlling play during the match, scoring a goal, obstruction, and then it goes on to contact. The back of the book is game management. To me, it's at the back of the book for a reason, because if you do everything right up until game management, you shouldn't need game management. So I really, genuinely believe that umpires who control the game well won't, need to use some of those rules in the back of the rule book, and games that get out of control are probably, I would suggest as part of your umpiring reflection is to have a good look at that on the way through. Are there any specific questions when it comes to rules? There were some rule changes that came out at the start of 2020. So we've only had 2 half seasons, I guess, since they were put in place. And maybe Catherine, I can share a summary of that, but some of them are just quite technical around, stoppages and things like that. Some changing to the wording around pivoting, that you can pivot on a heel or on your toe. There's some change to the centre pass and what to do when the ball is knocked out of the centre's hands. But these would be things I would suggest that people can read through and have a look in their own time.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think what you've mentioned there about making sure we look back to the rules, it's actually better for you guys to look at the rules and say, I've been reading this because this happened. This is how I interpret it. Is that right? Yeah. Then we know your understanding and we can help you from there. So I think that's a good point. But yeah, Lou, if you just want to send those, I didn't think there was any new ones because we can't get a full season in.
No, it was 2 years ago, and Netball Australia released a document that extracts what's different. And it's mostly technical stuff, as well as changing. We don't say stepping anymore. We say footwork. That was the hard one that we all had to adopt at Metro League, because Australian umpires always said stepping, and internationally other umpires said footwork. So Australia has actually adopted the rule book. Actually came out and said you will say footwork to kind of clarify that, and we all had to really focus hard to change that because we've been saying it for so long.
And that was because people also made comment to me last year about drag is not a word, it's footwork. And does that apply to if their feet are, it's an incorrect throw-in? Is that incorrect throw-in or footwork?
That's incorrect throw-in.
There you go, guys. So that was
it would be footwork if they stepped. So you could have, an incorrect throwing is the foot on the line or foot too far away from the line, but you can also step when you're taking a throw in. And you particularly see that in 10s and 11s, where they kind of shuffle their feet while they're looking to pass. That would be footwork in that case. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Lou's going to go and umpire now. So thank you for adding. And yes, we'll get that list off and we'll share it with everybody so that they've got that information anyway. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
See you. So I just want to talk to you guys next about that, your career development. So basically your progression as a netball umpire and how you will continue to develop yourself. So we are continually focusing on you guys, not just when you first start umpiring, but how you continue to develop. So we did have a session on the badging process recently, which many people came to, but some were asking because they weren't able to make it for various reasons. We will share that information again at a different point in the season, but the essence of it is really, if we're looking to badge people, we're looking for people who see themselves as a career umpire. So they respect and understand that this is their job, they're really valuing their development and applying those things that are happening, and they're taking on board everything that we're providing to them. Excuse my dog. So things that you need to be mindful of and aware is that we are here as mentors. So the mentors will include our umpire coordination team, which is Sam, Megan, and I. It will also include executives. So Louise is technically an executive who's been umpiring for many, many years and was umpiring coordinator in the past. So she is without a doubt the most knowledgeable person in terms of what's happening. Kathy has been umpiring for many, many years, as has Anthony. So other people will be involved. if these guys are observing your game, giving you feedback, making suggestions, take it as a compliment. They don't have to. They're doing it because they rate you as an umpire and they value you as part of our umpiring team. So sometimes it can feel a bit like, oh, hang on a minute, what are you doing watching my game? We actually are doing that more than we have in the past, because we're finding that the feedback from all of you guys over the last season was, I really appreciated being able to get feedback on that, or feel supported in this situation, and get a better relationship with that person who was helping to develop me. So that's something that we're really focused on. We encourage you to seek out feedback, right? So ask people, what do you think I'm doing well? And there's a number of you who will actually come up and say, can you come and observe my game? Just give me a bit of feedback. So if we can't stay for the whole game, we can observe for a bit. Or you know what, we might be watching because we're on a court nearby, and we always see people that are umpiring in different places. So seeking out that feedback is really beneficial. Joining us on a Saturday after you've finished umpiring or between games, we'll often sit together and watch a more experienced umpire and talk about what's happening in the game, and get that opportunity to ask those questions about, hang on, this happened in my game. I thought this was right, but now I'm questioning that. Being able to do that doesn't mean you don't know. It means you are continuing to grow. So if you are interested in thinking about badging being, something you want to aspire to in the next year, 2 years, whatever it might be, then you should really be seeking out and applying that feedback. Something we spoke a lot about at the badging information session was about you taking ownership and responsibility of your development. So keeping a journal where you are reflecting on what you're doing well, what your goals are as an umpire. Might be aspiring to higher teams. It might be aspiring to older age groups. It might be about being more effective with your positioning or stronger on your whistle. It might be sharpening up your hand. It might hand jet signals. It might be about being able to handle those trickier games. Any of those, just one simple targeted action and a way of improving it and working with us, means we know that you're serious about what you're doing. Engaging with us as an exec and the club reps really helps us to do that. So remember, it's about being open and being committed to that development. It's not personal. We're not targeting you personally. We're talking about you in terms of your job. So we're helping you from that side. Sam, I'm going to hand to you here just to give us an update on Assigner, please.
Hello, everybody. Assigner this year has got an app. So this is going to be easy for you to use actually on the day to be able to view your games, and if there's any last minute changes. Website obviously has more advantage in being able to change things and do more abilities. We will roster again throughout the season. We're going to try and do 3 weeks in advance. So if you have dates ahead of time that you've got a birthday to attend, or you're going on holiday or anything like that, give us more notice than, give us as much notice as possible, and instead of leaving it to the last minute to tell us. In saying that, if you are sick, email us as quick as possible so we can replace you. If we accidentally roster you because we're just getting used to who's going to play at what time, just decline. So you have accept and decline. You decline so that we are notified and we can then roster someone in for you. Communication is key. Keep in communication with either us, any of the 3 of us, to if you need assistance or you can't work out how to use Assigner, we can talk you through it or show you at a training session or something like that of how to get on there.
And we've all got access to that Mascot Umpires email. So it's a good point to get to all of us.
Yes, that's right. So this Assigner is what we're going to use to communicate through the whole season. Some of you would have used it last year and seen how more effective it is, and you get notifications. By marking, you can do half a day. You can actually do it in time slots or a full day. To actually decline or accept a game, so that we can help you organise your time. Just make sure you put the correct information in. It helps us with still learning names and things like that. If you can put a photo on your Assigner, make sure you've got your password, and check your contact details, because if you maybe signed up with an old email address or your school email address and now you're not using that email, the email that you will check regularly is the best one that we need.
And your photo, not your pet's photo. Love your pets, but please don't put them as your profile photo.
Yeah, because I'll recognize the pet more than I would recognize you. Accept the games once we issue them. Please accept them as soon as possible, even the ones a couple of weeks in advance, not necessarily the one coming up. So if we're giving you 3 weeks a block or a 4-week block, accept all games so that we know if we need to respond and what people are around. When we send you a message, please acknowledge that you received the message and respond appropriately within a good time. When you go on to a sign up, you can log on, and on the left hand side is all of the apps that you can, all the selections you can use, so about the games, the availability. By having the correct information in there, we can communicate better, but also by accepting and declining, you'll get the correct pay at the end of the day too, which is very, very important. So as you can see on the screen now, you can see the tick means that you've accepted it. So sometimes we do clinics, or there might be a gala day and we might need extra umpires and it's a school holiday. We can you can tick that you're not away on holidays, and we could possibly allocate you or put you on to someone who's looking for an umpire for a day or a gala day. Also, as you can see, there's availability every day, so the start of the season. So if you know you're not going to go away and you're available for the whole time, you can do it from the start of the season and go right through to the end of the season. And you can even do an all-day slot, or you can do certain times, because obviously you'll be playing or coaching and you want to watch your team. So that's what we need. So it gives you days of the week that you can do it. So as I've mentioned before, if we've got a gala day or we need umpires for a round robin that Mascot might be running, we can you can let us know if you're available, instead of us doing a mass phone around to say, can you do it, can you not do it? So communication between both of the committee and the play and the umpires is crucial. So as I said, we're going to send you information through a signer through the whole season, decline or accept. And if you do happen to be sick, get to us as quick as possible in sending an email either to the umpire's email or through a signer, which you can do only on the website, not actually through your phone at this stage. But whether or not that comes in later on, we will let you know that you can do it that way.
We've asked them about it. They said they're working on it.
Yeah. So if you've got any suggestions on how we can communicate better or improve, we're open to feedback. So.
Beautiful. All righty. Last couple of bits and pieces of information for you guys. So first and foremost, when we get the draw, we will send first round roster. We will tend to send the first round, and then based on that settling, so we know we have not crossed over with when you're playing or coaching, that those times will work, we will then send the subsequent 2 rounds. So the aim is for you to have advanced notice for about 3 weeks. That only works if you help us in being able to achieve that. The draw, we normally receive about a week out, so it's a bit of a busy week to be able to actually allocate and roster everything. We do know first round is 30th of April, and we know that that will be when we kick off and have everything working. So most people are starting training already. If you are in a senior team, as in the afternoon senior time slot, we are inviting you guys to arrange or request an umpire based on who you've had last season or someone that's in a different team to you. We're hopeful they're at different time slots so that we can try and create that partnership. Now, as mentioned, we don't get the draw till closer to season. So it's actually fine if you guys come and say, hey, I'm a C1 player and I want to swap with this B4 umpire, so we'll umpire each other's games. If you can give us that heads up, we will plan for that And then when we get the draw, we will make changes if we have to. But the senior teams, because we found it worked really, really well last year for seniors to allocate and create their own umpire relationship, we would like to encourage that and set that up again this year. Oopsie. So as Sam mentioned, if you can't accept a game because you are in exams, you've got work commitments, you're away, whatever, please decline it as soon as possible via a signer, and then you will have the option of sending that message. It helps us if when you were declining, you give us a reason for why you're declining so that we can make sure we don't make the same error again if it's a time you coach or play, or if it's just a one-off, we know. If you are sick, sometimes you will obviously know days in advance. If you do, let us know as soon as possible. Even if you're going, I have been sick, I'm not sure I'll get there. With the current rules with COVID, it states that if you are sick, you shouldn't be umpiring. It is a workplace. If you are sick on the day of a game or during, you're umpiring a game or playing and you're going, I don't feel well or I'm injured or whatever, you can message us through a signer or through the email. So I have a signer open as an app, but also as a website on my phone so that I can use that message function. You can, in that situation, put on the WhatsApp group, guys, I'm meant to be umpiring this game next. I'm not well. Can anyone cover me? And we can help to create that and make sure that someone covers you, because obviously we want you to be well. If for any reason you are not feeling safe, or you feel that a game that you are umpiring is unsafe, as in players are not adhering to your calls, you're feeling it's quite aggressive, you're firming up how you're umpiring and applying all the skills you have, and you are feeling like it is not getting under control, please send someone, as in the manager of the team that you are with, or a parent that you may know, someone to the tent to get help. If you can't do that because maybe they're part of the problem, put on the umpires group for WhatsApp, can an official come to this court, please? On our group chat, the exec are also in there, so one of them will be able to come and help you. It happens very, very rarely, but we would never want you to be in a situation where you're going, I don't know what is happening. If you're just feeling like you're not too comfortable and you're saying, Catherine, Sam, Meg, are you around? Can you just pop past? It doesn't feel like it's quite as serious, but you do want some help, then you can send a message to us in that way. Last few things are making sure that you update your banking details with us. As we said, this is a paid gig, so we need to be able to get the pay to you. If you're not sure what banking details you sent through last year, or you've changed your bank accounts or whatever, if you email those details through to Anthony, our treasurer, he can make sure that they are accurate. You guys will know you need to have the name of the account, the bank that it is, the BSB, and the account number for him to be able to share. Once the COVID rules for the season are released, we will share them with you. We think, but we don't know, it is likely to continue probably in a very similar way to how last season occurred. Tomorrow night is our coaches and managers night, and we may receive some more information there, but we're really waiting for RNA to share with us where everything is up to. So once we have that, we will share that with you. Please start and take some time to top up and check your umpires kit. With those of you who are newer to umpiring, we encourage you to have a waterproof bag. There is a lot of rain during the season, and we want you to protect your stuff so that it is not getting wet. So a waterproof bag with your kit in it is really quite critical. If you do not have a white umpire's shirt, a mascot one as yet, because you are new to us, or you need a replacement, please email us at the mascotumpires@gmail.com email address, and we will arrange a replacement for you. Please make sure you have a rule book and or the app on your phone. The app is so much easier in terms of accessing information and being able to just glance at it when you need. It's probably worth thinking about. You need your whistle. The club prefers an Acme whistle. You can get them from Rebel. The silver one is the preferred, with the finger rings not on a string like some of the others, because you can switch at centers much easier. Make sure you've got your hair elastics with some spares, because I guarantee it will snap and fling off halfway through a game, so that you make sure that you've got that. And it means if you need it for your own hair, you've got it, plus your own pen for signing the scorecard and for putting information into your journal for your own development. So a journal that you keep with you as well. Journaling in, something I learned, something I want to focus on, something I've applied or improved on helps you. And it means that as we're mentoring you and moving towards badging, you can show us what you've been working on and how that works. Just a reminder, your responsibility is signing the card under your team. As a mascot umpire, you will be allocated to a mascot team. That side of the card is the one that you need to sign, and you do need to do it at the end of the game. If anyone asks you to sign at the beginning of the game, please remind them that actually, as an umpire, you sign at the end of the game because you're responsible for the safety of the game. So all is good, and walk away. They're not actually able to force you to sign it. They will say it so that they don't forget, or because it's raining or whatever. Please just stick with, I'll sign it at the end of the game, and make sure that you followed through on that. The other things you might want to have, and I haven't popped on here, but a hat, something like that could be helpful. For those of you who were umpiring with us last season, your thank you gift of your hoodie. So your white mascot hoodie with the hood will help you to shelter that rain and that sun and all of those sorts of things. But having some sunscreen, making sure you've got a decent water bottle and some food are really important for your own health and safety. We don't want people passing out. So all of those, getting them ready in your kit and your pack is the best thing. Finally, I just wanted to share with you our sponsors as a reminder. You'll see them popping up on Facebook and other sorts of things. As a club, we're really dependent on our sponsors. So as I said, we're all volunteers, but our sponsors are basically who pay our bills as umpires. So they're paying for a signer, they're paying for the jackets that we've got and all of those sorts of things. So really important that we acknowledge and we share that information where we can. So I'm going to stop recording now and then open for questions so that we can make